I'm going to give you 4 late round fantasy football players that you must draft in your leagues. These are all potential league winners. They have insane upside. We're talking about 3 running backs and 1 receiver. So before I get to them, please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video. Visit wallstreetfootball.com for tons of content. We have fantasy rankings, sleepers, busts, cheat sheets. We have articles like best and worst picks from each round, strategy guides, everything you need for your fantasy draft. We have NFL picks, NFL mock drafts for 2026 and 2027 coming up. We picks against the spread. We grade every signing. We grade every trade. We have lots more too. Power rankings, for example. It's all at wallstreetfootball.com. It's all free. So come check us out. So, I did a video of 4 early round players you need to draft. I'm going to link that in the top comment. So check that out if you haven't seen that already. So these are all players being drafted round 9 onward. The first guy, actually, they're all round 10 onward, according to ADP. We're going to go by Fantasy Pros' consensus rankings here. So the first one I want to talk about is Zack Charbanet. He's currently being drafted 115 overall, which is 1007 ADP. This guy just screams league winner to me, really does. So Charbanet last year, in case you were were under a rock last year, he had some great performances when Kenneth Walker got injured. He actually outplayed Walker. You know, when the two were on the field together or separate times when they're both healthy. Walker just wasn't really doing very much. He had a couple games here and there, but for the most part, he really struggled to gain significant yards per carry. I know that's not like the best metric, but still, he just wasn't as impressive as Charbanet. Charbanet just had many explosive games. He's fantastic. I think he's the better runner, and I think Seattle kind of knows that. We know that they've been running a lot of 2 running back personnel in practice and training camp thus far, and I think we're going to see that. So even if Walker is healthy, you're going to see plenty of Charbonnet on the field. So I think that's even like worst case scenario is if, well, obviously injury, but if as long as there's no injury, I think that's worst case scenario. Walker stays on the field for most of the time, and you get some Charbonnet. Who could be like a good bye week fill in that scenario. The best case scenario, there are 2 of them actually. One is that Walker goes down again, and we know how injury prone Walker is. He's kind of soft too. I think that Walker could easily get hurt this year. He's already dealing with an injury. I know he came back to practice, but it's a bad sign for him that he's already banged up. So I think that Charbonnet could easily take over as with an injury like as soon as like week 3, 4, 5, like when the bye weeks begin, and he could just be like a monster for you. And then this other scenario is that Walker is in his contract year, and the Seahawks are not expected to be very good. So they could trade him. And so if that happens, obviously Charbonnet is going to be elevated, and he's just going to be a monster in the fantasy playoffs. And it makes sense to trade Walker. Not only is he in his contract year, but Seattle has a couple good running backs behind him. Charbonnet, obviously, and then Halani, who is the other Boise State running back. Like he's looked good in the preseason. So like why wouldn't Seattle trade an injury-prone running back when they're not going to make the playoffs? And they've taken some safeguards to improve their run blocking. They drafted Gray Zabel in the first round. They got Robbie Oots, who's been just like a monster truck in the preseason, just ramming everyone over. He's just so fun to watch. It just his run blocking is ridiculous. So Charbonnet is going to be in a great situation this year, I assume, with Walker potentially going down or getting traded in some capacity. We'll see. But either way, Charbonnet is like one of 3 players that I absolutely am trying to get in every draft. The 4th guy on this list is pretty close, but like 3 are in the top tier. Charbonnet best ball draft usually round 9, and here, like I said, you can get him around 10, late round 10. The second guy I wanted to get to is another running back, another second string at the moment running back, and it's Braylon Allen, and the starter in front of him also in his contract year, and also considered to be a trade target coming up in the trade deadline during the middle of the season. So Breece Hall, he had a great start to his career, but past couple of years, he's kind of been a disappointment. He's coming off the 20 CL in 2023, so you can kind of understand why. But last year, it seemed like he lost his explosion. And the coaching staff, the new coaching staff with the Jets, they have no allegiance to Hall. They didn't draft him. They seem to like Braylon Allen a lot. Like that's at least what the reporting is. And you always want to be careful about reporting. A lot of beat writers do a bad job of covering teams. Sure, there are some good ones out there, but most of them are bad. But actions speak louder than words, and we saw in 2 games so far in the preseason, Braylon Allen and Breece Hall have been on the field nearly as much, at the same time. Allen was handling all the third down work, all the short yardage work, and so he's at least going to have that. That's the floor for him. The ceiling is if Hall gets traded or gets injured again, and if that happens, like Allen's just going to take off. He's one of the youngest players in the NFL. He has a ton of upside. He looked better. He looks better than Breece Hall. Given that the coaching staff likes him a lot, we could see Braylon Allen take over as the starter in the middle of the season for one reason or another. So he's like the one guy in the second tier, just because I like other guys in that range. He's going, like I say, he's going 1309, number 153 overall, which is it's usually running backs get elevated, but here it's lower than he is in best ball. Best ball usually goes like round 11 or round 12. That's usually when I take my backup quarterback there. So I don't get Braylon Allen every time, but I do like him. So the next guy is going 2 picks later in Isaac Guerendo. So we have news today. Guerendo is returned to practice. So actually, Guerendo is my top sleeper until the next. Then the fourth guy I'm going to get to is the top sleeper now. But he was the top sleeper for a while, just because I don't trust Christian McCaffrey to stay healthy. I know there's some content creators out there who believe that Guerendo is worth betting your house on. Like this guy, I think Salvetri, I think his name is. He was on Twitter or something. He's Mr. Jump Cuts on YouTube. He said he'd bet his house on Christian McCaffrey, which I was like, this guy is bilateral chronic Achilles tendonitis, like. And he's old, like, a 29-year-old injury-prone running back is not someone. So please don't bet your house on him. I feel like McCaffrey is just bound to get hurt. I know he's looking good in practice right now, but once the game start and his Achilles start wearing down, like, he's just a ticking time bomb. Like, he's going to get hurt at some point. So when McCaffrey's on the board, if you have a chance to draft McCaffrey, you have one or two options. You could take him and believe that he hits his upside, which he could. Or you pass on him because you're concerned with his injuries. And if it's the latter, you have to take Guerendo in like round 12, round 13, it's ADP 13, 11. Guerendo, if he takes over, when he takes over, I should say, he is definitely a league winner. He's going to be producing like an RB1. He's big, he's fast, and Kyle Shanahan, like his dad, Mike, they just produce a great running back fantasy stars all the time. Just think back to like what his dad did with like CJ Anderson and Orlandis Gary and Ruben Drones, like all these bums who produce under him. And we've seen the same thing with Shanahan. Like last year, he got Jordan Mason to be a fantasy star. So Guerendo, when he played briefly last year, he looked really good. He just has such explosive ability, and he's, like I said, he's built big too. So he's a star in the making, I think. And it's not a matter if McCaffrey goes down, it's when. So if you draft Guerendo, you never want to root for an injury, but I think that you're going to see McCaffrey go down like pretty quickly, by October potentially. And so Guerendo, if that happens, Guerendo will win your league unless you screw up everywhere else. Hopefully that doesn't happen with our advice here. So the last guy, this is a receiver. He is currently the top sleeper on my site just because he's going so late. Thornton here is undrafted according to Fantasy Pros, which I find hard to believe because we do mock drafts every weeknight whenever there's no game on. And he's going like 10th round, 11th round. He actually went 8th round in the draft we did this past night. And I guess it's because we've been talking about him so much. Thornton is 6'5". He's 230. He runs a 4.3. This guy should have been a second round pick. I don't know why he fell in the 4th round. I'd love to know the reasoning, but he took over as a starter like right away. And so I had to ask Charlie Campbell, who's the most accurate mock drafter in the world, because a big reason for that is because he has so many sources, and he has multiple sources. The Raiders, not like scouts, but like higher up people you may have heard of. So Thornton is. I asked him about Thornton, and Charlie got back to me, and he said he spoke to 2 separate people who individually told him that Thornton is the real deal, and they expect him to be the receiver 1. So over Jacoby Myers, I would draft Thornton over Jacoby Myers. That's not. I don't think that's ridiculous, and I think that by October, it's going to be evident that that this is the correct opinion to have. So Myers, I like in real life. He's a great is a very great like dependable player. Like he didn't drop a single pass last year, but he doesn't profile as a receiver one, and Thornton does. I think Thornton's gonna have a monster year. Like he has Geno Smith to throw downfield to him. He almost connected on him with a double, with on 2 occasions in the last preseason game. And had Thornton caught one of them, like his ADP would have skyrocketed. So I'm pretty happy that it didn't. I'm taking Thornton every time in best ball, 13th, 14th round. But here, you know, if you're drafting with people who are clueless, you can take him probably with your last non-kicker, non-defense pick, which I guess is also 14th round. So yeah, try to get these guys. And the three guys I want in every draft are Zack Charbanet, Isaac Guerendo, and Dante Thornton. And Braylon Allen is a very close fourth. So these are 4 players that you should try to get on all your teams in the late rounds. Let me know who else you like. You know, there's certain other guys on this that could have been on this list as well, but these are the top 4 on mine. So if you have anyone that you're drafting a lot in late rounds, let me know. Or if you don't like any of these players, just let me know why as well. So please hit like, subscribe, comment below, share this video, visit walterfootball.com for tons of content, and I will talk to you